Scary Halloween weekend for Milan fans from 3 points down to one in the matter of 13 minutes against Napoli. Joined by a special guest this week here on the Calcio Guys. It's just me and Adriano to start. But we are joined from Vinny from Milan Weekly Podcast. Vinny, how's it going?
Why did you have to start that way from 3 points to one? I'm already coming into enemy territory, Mister Negativity, right over here. I'm doing very well. I'm here for Presidente Futuro, Adriano. He knows he's studying. He's studying to be the next Milan Club Montreal president. But yes, thanks for having me, guys.
Should I have said like a point stolen on the road or something? A little positive.
Just ask your questions. It's just I just don't like the way you started it off. As a guest, it's supposed to be nice to me, but it is what it is. Maybe I'm not gonna be as nice for my answers to you. But,
Vinny knows straight off the bat that Nick is the Juventina in the chat. So from my heart to yours, Vinny, we do appreciate you coming on. I didn't know Nick was gonna throw a curveball, but again, we appreciate you on. But yeah, Vinny, first time you're on the show, where we've been such avid fans. Well, I know I have been such an avid fan of obviously your show, Milan Weekly Podcast. Been going on for all these years, and I've watched, for a long time now. Not being part of the club, getting to know you guys more. It's always a cool thing to tune into every Monday night. So again, I'm gonna guess maybe lead you in a bit better, hopefully.
It's all about the content creation, whether it be coming, for you guys or coming from coast to coast, who's going on live tonight at 9:30. Some of our Patreon members doing their own little thing on their side. It's just the more content, guys, the better it is. So I'm glad. What an intro! Thank you, Adriano. Thank you.
Had to throw you your flowers. But what we do with every guest, first time on the show, kind of just to get a grip of where the fandom, in your case for Milan, came from. Maybe your story with you falling in love with the red and black stripes that we love. And if you want to just share that quick story before we get into all the nitty gritty.
I know my story doesn't compare to my co-host, STVP. His is legendary, but for me it was my cousin living across my street, and his family from Italy would always bring him some stuff, and I would go into his room, and I'm like 8 years old, 1988, and what is this Van Basten, Gullit, and it's like, what is the mighty Milan, and from there it was just the love for the red and black, and it just flourished from there. And the best story for me is just that the living in Ottawa, left for Ottawa in 2003 to go work, and it was a Champions League final. And I remember we win the Champions League final. I'm at a local bar with a friend there, and I just burst into tears, and everybody's just looking at me all weird, like, what the hell is this guy doing, crying for a soccer game? And I'm like, you're never gonna get it. You're never gonna get it, right? And that's why on my arm here I got the red and black veins. For me, it's just more than a passion. So, and again, the discussion from, like we're talking with Steve, I'm all for criticizing, but I'll never be negative. As they say in Italian, incazzati, ma sempre innamorati. That's the way it is.
I gotta ask about your background. Do you actually have all those scarves behind, or is that a Photoshop background?
No.
Photoshop? What is Photoshop?
No
you young kids.
Those are the actual scarves.
These are all the actual scarves of the people that sent to us via mail. Some people that visited the Milan Club Montreal. So these are all real stuff. There's even some more, but I only have so much of a big screen. So yes, do you want to see again? Do you want to see again the real stuff here? Huh? Juventino? Huh?
You know what? It looked too perfectly set up. I said, okay, these look real, but it could easily be an image. You never know these days. But that looks awesome. That's so you're part of Milan Club Montreal, and I know you guys do a lot of stuff with other clubs around the world, as we see there with the scarves. For you as a Milan fan, what's the best part about being part of that club and connecting with other guys like my good friend Adriano?
It's the passion, right? It's the passion for a love of a club. Being able to look at Davy and Angie from Milan Club Philly. I never met us. We were just talking over WhatsApp, and they made a trip out to Montreal several years ago to come and meet us. Our derby trip, me and my cousin last year, we never asked. They were there for the derby. They offered us, no, no, you guys are gonna stay with us. They had an apartment at Piazza Duomo. You're gonna stay. We're
Wow.
gonna spend the day. And these are people, that we've never, they're not. We consider them family today, but it's just that, like when we won the Scudetto, we're embracing people we don't know, or
Yeah.
having people. Oh, I read about the club that meets over here. Yeah, come on in. We remember seeing three French people from Trois-Rivières. Hey, on va écouter le Milan avec vous autres. It's just this. It's more of a, everybody knows that I'm a wrestling fan, and yes, I've been to wrestling conventions where you have that common passion. But when it comes to a team, Milan, and I'm not going to shit on other teams. I'm sure everybody has the same kind of passion, and it's just that brotherhood and sisterhood.
Yeah.
For the Patreon is humbling, to have this amount of people that forget the $3 a month. Is that they want to be part of this Patreon. They want to be part of the group chat, even though at halftime there's 474 messages.
Yeah.
Going from seeing views in Malaysia, views in Australia. Yes, we have the Australian fan. I think it's just more humbling, and this whole, yes, there's toxic Milan fans out there. We're not gonna lie, but I think it's the feeling of being in a brotherhood where like say Adriano, we had never met. It's like, oh, can we pick up some members at the metro station subway? Yeah, sure, I'll be there. Pick up. Oh, hi, I'm meeting you for the first time. Come into my car. Let's go. You can't explain it. It's just
Yeah.
like people that are in love. You can explain love, right?
Yeah. It's a mystery, but no, it's really been cool. The camaraderie that we always say on our end, just for meeting people like yourself, Vinny, or so many people, like you said, across the world. It just to content, English cultural content that we put out, you guys put out, so many people put out. So
The more the merrier. There's no competition here. The more the merrier,
exactly,
man.
exactly, and everybody has their own twist, twist on things, and it's a real cool thing. Just going back to Dave and Angie, I mean, I remember meeting them when I went to Boston for the ICC tournament, going to meet him for the first time. And listen, I knew who he was just through social media, but like he obviously didn't know who I was. Go and introduce myself, shake his hand, and you saw that connection right away. Franco from Milan Club New York City, same thing. Met him, in the stands, and
This
just
guy,
crazy.
we joked around about a Scudetto bus. Jump on the bus. This guy rented a school bus when we won the Scudetto. It's just it's just these marvelous stories from around. Like we kindly call ourselves the five families of
Yeah,
the Milan clubs. Milan Club Montreal, Toronto with Maurizio. We have Philly with Dave. We have New York with Franco, and then Boston with Mark.
yeah.
It's just a great little community that we create ourselves, and that's why sometimes we do the Milanismo worldwide. On the podcast, sometimes some clubs that just started, 2 members. Who cares? To spread the word, right? Does Juventus do stuff like that?
No, unfortunately.
There we go.
Unfortunately.
Okay, so let's I
Yeah.
kind of want to maybe just break it into into obviously the Milan performances of late. Vinny, I know you guys had a great show on Monday night. You and Steve talking about that. Again, just want to get your opinions and just your thoughts. And you mentioned obviously the toxic Milan fans, and being part of the Milan, I guess, community myself. I also see those things, but just your thoughts on Milan's recent performances. Obviously, the Napoli match, even dating back maybe to the Juventus match, the PSG match in Champions League. Just your overall thoughts, and did you take anything, if anything, positive out of all these results?
We called it what a shit week, right? And
Yeah.
I emphasized on the podcast about there's a difference between criticizing and being negative. And Adrian, you're on the group chat. There's so many people that the game is lost before the season is over. The season is over.
Yeah.
We suck.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, and it's for me. Look, am I happy about this week? Absolutely not. What happened against Juve, right? And when you're agreeing with Juve fans, Nicholas, this was the most disgusting game that we have watched in several years. And PSG is PSG, guys, and as Milanistas, well, there's always that hope, right? But you're playing PSG. They just lost to Newcastle. not scoring a goal is inexcusable, especially the way we played in the first 20 minutes. And then against Napoli, it's the way we were after scoring 2 goals, being cute in front of goal, and then not knowing what the hell we're doing after scoring. Then hearing comments like, the Giroud comments. We don't know what to defend or attack. You can't say shit like this,
Yeah.
Now people will take what is happening. So, the way Giroud reacted when he was subbed off. We went from that to he lost the locker room, Pioli out. That's it. There's a nucleus of players that are again. I understand, guys. It's a clickbait era. I get it. This is what's going to draw the views and whatever. But for me, right, I'm always the glass half full kind of guy. I could be pissed off 100%. Am I happy of this week? No. But it's 10 games in. Where, oh my God, 3 points away from first place. What a disaster. We've already played 3 big teams. And we still have, don't ask me how, still have a fighting chance to win to qualify in Champions League. So I get the injuries in the team. There's a then what else are you going to write about? There's a crisis at Milan. Imagine if we were like in 13th place. There's a crisis at Milan. There's a crisis at Milan. But when Juventus gets first place for one day, La Juve è ritornata. La Juve, and I'm not bashing on Juve or like Inter, right? La fuga dell'Inter. L'Inter is running away with the Scudetto. It's fucking 10 games in, people, right? We qualified. We like to give our thoughts after 10 games in, which I think is very important. Just the way people lost their fucking minds when we I can swear on this, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Not suitable for young children. People lost their minds with the whole Tonali situation, right?
Yeah.
And we were just wait and see. And we called it the civil war. You had the one side of the Milan fans on one side, and the other ones were just wait and see. So for now, am I happy with Pioli? I'm not happy with the team. So I'm not, people like to point fingers. Whose fault is it? Are there things that I don't understand? I'm not a coach. Adley not playing for a year. What do I know? I don't know what's happening at the training room. So, to have that train of thought to go, wait and see, or give me the other side of the story. Just like, do I understand why he took out Leao? 150%, because he wasn't there. Right?
Yeah.
Giroud, I don't get it. And me, I'm a kind of guy, help me understand. Giroud for Jovic, help me understand. Right? And we spoke about the Primavera players and everything. But no, it's been a hard week. But, we got Udinese coming up, right? We got Lecce and Abraham, one of the members. He was like, you know what? I prefer losing these games. He goes, last year, the year before, we would lose again. We would win against the big teams and lose against the small ones. He goes, give me the small teams. So that's the difference between criticizing and being negative. So just the way I tell people, oh, Pioli out. Okay, then what? And they can't answer me. Yeah. Some people are smart out there, and they'll try to give me some sort of explanation. Pioli out. Okay. Just like when Juve was going bad. Oh, Allegri out. And then what? Who are you going to go get? Who are you going to go? Who are you going to go? Oh, we should get Di Francesco. What's his name there?
De
Zerbi. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So we're gonna go pay his buyout clause of probably 8 to 10 million. Then we're gonna go pay his salary 6 to 7. We're gonna keep on paying people. Like, please stop. Just stop and think and rationalize before you speak. Allegri's making what, Nicholas? Over 10 a year?
8 to 10, something like that.
8 to 10. What were they gonna get? Conte. Like, it's when people were talking about Napoli, Conte is going to Napoli. Are you out of your minds? There's nobody cheaper than De Laurentiis. No, but supposedly they had an agreement. Okay, they had an agreement. Anyways, it is what it is. But guys, you know what? It's entertaining. At least that. You got to take everything with a grain of salt on social media. That's why the busted tweets there that we do on the show. People might take it bad that we talk. But it's all for fun and games. Don't take social media so serious.
How many times have I ended up there?
Hmm. Yo, a bit more, you were gonna get the Looper Award there. I think you were doing it on purpose because you wanted to be part of the show. But it's okay. It's okay.
It's all love.
I want to ask you, Vinny. So you mentioned Milan's already played three of the top teams. So they played Napoli, Juve, and Inter. Lost two, drew against one. And someone could say these are 6-point games. And of course, they still have to play these teams again. But considering they have already dropped points to these teams, and these are the direct competitors in the race. Is that concerning for you at all, or would you rather wait till they play them again? Maybe they're going to recuperate 3 more points. Like you said, it's only 10 games. The performance versus these teams, is that a concern for you?
The concern, like a lot of people were complaining about the Inter game, right? And they were saying he keeps on doing the same thing again, and he's expecting a different result. And my argument was, okay. So is it possible that it's the first time ever that he gets to try his own plan with completely different players? Okay, it didn't work out. I get it, So against Juve, I'm sorry. I don't even know how we're able to, the only game in recent history that you go up one man up, Juve, and still didn't make a difference. Napoli, I think we're just in our heads, and we want to talk about depth. Yeah, we got depth, but you need players that are not injured to have depth. So this whole up and down. I'm not you guys. Inter is the best team in Serie A. Let's not kid ourselves, right? It is what it is. I don't see a problem playing Juve again. I don't see a problem playing Napoli again. For me, like, I think Juve is going to keep on playing Allegri ball. Hey, in the end, like we say, I don't give a shit. Oh, they played really badly. It's 3 points in the end in the history books, right? So, to me, it's more Inter, because we haven't won. The last time, guys, we won against Inter was when I was there live at the San Siro. So, the more concerning thing is, no goals in the last, 5 games in the Champions League. But now we got to take care of the little ball buster teams. Look at the. We're talking about how great Cagliari was. We brought the argument that I'm sorry, that's how bad Frosinone is to let 4 goals in the span of like 23, 24 minutes, But I think it's going to start with Udinese this Saturday, guys, because Udinese hasn't been the ball buster team that they've been in the last years. They're always there. And this year, I don't know, they haven't got to their pace up, and they've got a couple of ties, and I think this is going to be the first test, and see how much they're really into their head. So no, to your question, Nicholas, is my main concern is always going to be Juve at the Inter Inter at this point. The other teams are very beatable, especially from what I saw. Because let's be honest, guys, it should have been 4-0 in the first half against Napoli instead of getting cute. And against Juve, I don't even know how this match ended up. I think the tie would have been the correct score, because Milan didn't do anything.
Tie.
Yeah, Milan didn't do anything to it. It's not like we bombarded Juve all game. You guys parked the bus, you played your game, and in the end, deflection is deflection. It's a goal. And I'm going to repeat myself again. In the history books, ain't going to say deflection really bad. It's going to say Juve 1, Milan 0, 3 punti Juve. That is it. And that is it.